Friday, June 30th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news before we head into the long holiday weekend, including the search for a missing Milford woman. Frank Reed will have a look at your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports Update, and Donald Eng will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, a Milford motorcyclist was killed in an accident on Route 8 in Waterbury Thursday night. He was identified as 24-year-old James Laird of Meadow Park Drive. State Police Trooper Kelly Grant says the accident happened around 7:15 p.m. near the southbound exit 36. Troopers say for unknown reasons, Laird lost control of his 2007 Suzuki motorcycle and came to rest in the center median. He was pronounced dead at the scene around 7:37 p.m. Anyone with information is asked to contact troopers at 203-267-2240. And in other news, Milford police are asking for the public's help finding a local woman. Police are looking for 31-year-old Kimberly Piccolo, who was last seen at her family's home in Milford June 25th at about 7 in the morning. Piccolo said she was going to her aunt's house in Newtown, but she never arrived, adding that at around 7 p.m. the same day, she was seen in her vehicle in Clinton, Maine. Now, she's driving a gray 2009 Mazda 3 four-door with the Connecticut registration plate of 926YOV. Her family is concerned for her welfare and safety because she is not taking her anxiety medication and has been feeling depressed, according to family. She's also not contacted anyone since June 25th. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Milford Police Department at 203-878-6551. And in other news, a Bridgeport woman who allegedly stole a bread truck that she rammed into a state police cruiser led police on a chase on I-95 Thursday morning. Around 7 a.m., troopers were notified that a bread truck, a white Sprinter van, had rammed a Bridgeport police cruiser earlier in the morning and was now traveling on I-95 northbound near exit 39. Well, troopers attempted to stop that van, a 2008 Freightliner. However, the operator refused to stop and a pursuit ensued. Through the course of that pursuit, the operator of the van, 27-year-old Mercedes Bruno, rammed a state police cruiser on I-95 northbound near exit 41. The pursuit continued to the I-95-I-91 split, where the van evaded state police as it traveled on I-91 northbound. Bruno exited I-91 and the pursuit continued through the town of North Haven. Well, as the pursuit traveled through North Haven, Bruno intentionally rammed a North Haven police cruiser, according to police. Eventually, she re-entered I-91 northbound at exit 9, while again traveling I-91 northbound, she intentionally struck a second police state cruiser. Upon striking that state police cruiser, Bruno lost control of the van. It swerved into the right shoulder and struck the metal beam guardrail, then a DOT light pole. Well, Bruno, who police say was also under the influence of drugs or alcohol, was taken into custody and faces a number of charges. Bruno and two troopers were transported to local hospitals for evaluation of minor injuries. And federal authorities say they have seized about 20 kilograms or 44 pounds of heroin and fentanyl and arrested 13 people. The arrests and drug seizures on Thursday during raids at a dozen locations in Connecticut and western Massachusetts were the conclusion of a months-long investigation. U.S. Attorney Deirdre Daley, in a statement, said the drugs were packaged for sale in hundreds of thousands of small bags. Investigators also seized a quantity of horse tranquilizer, often used as a heroin additive, and 7 guns. Of the 13 people arrested, 10 were from Connecticut, 2 were from Massachusetts, and 1 was from New Jersey. All were ordered held during their court appearances Thursday on drug possession and distribution charges. Prosecutors say much of the drugs were sold at a small Hartford store. And in other news, a bear that broke into a Weston home a couple of weeks ago is a repeat offender. For the second time in a month, that bear tore through screens on a porch in an attempt to find food inside a home on Treadwell Lane. Well, the first time, the Treadwell burglar pried open a window and made its way into the house before absconding. However, this time, the bear only made it inside the porch. The only thing damaged both times were screens. Animal Control Officer Mark Harper told the Weston Forum that the homeowners secured the windows in such a manner that the bear could not get into the house this time. He said the bear was hungry and looking for food. Now, before the first break-in, that homeowner had kept a number of bird feeders outside filled with suet, and the suet kept disappearing quickly, most likely from the bear stealing it. So the homeowner decided to move that all inside. There was another bear incident reported recently in Weston on Godfrey Road West, where a bear tore through siding off of a barn at Latchetttown Farm searching for food. And there's more on that at thewestonforum.com. In other news, a digital camera bag carrying more than $1,000 in equipment was stolen from a car on Stephanie Lane in Darien. A 24-year-old Darien resident contacted police to report that the bag had been taken during the night of June 18th. The victim woke around 6:30 the next morning and found one of the car doors had been left open and the vehicle had been entered. He told police he was certain that he had locked the doors and believed a coat hanger or some other tool had been used to pry open the lock. According to police, there were no signs of damage or forced entry on the car. Several other car burglaries had been reported in the neighborhood on that same night as well. And Ridgefield school officials continue to discuss pushing back school start times. While decrease of rental revenue, practices ending at 9 p.m., and difficulties for swimming and ice hockey facility rentals, as well as conflicts with game scheduling, those are all possible impacts later start times could have on high school athletics. Ridgefield Athletics Director Dane Street outlined the negative impacts of pushing back the clock at Ridgefield High School during a presentation along with Principal Stacy Gross at the Board of Education meeting on June 12th. Street feared an 8 a.m. or even an 8:30 a.m. start would push practices for all three levels of athletics, varsity, JV, and freshmen. He specifically cited basketball, tennis, and golf as the three sports most directly affected by the potential change. Street said that a shift in the high school schedule could mean an earlier dismissal time than usual for away games. He also said that so far, with only one school in the league, Wilton, with later start times, others have been able to move games around. He said that with Greenwich making the change next year, it will be more difficult, and eventually, if Ridgefield decides to switch, then working around three school times with later start times would be even more complex. But there's more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. Let's throw it over to Frank Granito now for a look at the weekend forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And we are seeing breezy and humid conditions out today, on and off periods of sunshine and clouds expected through the afternoon. Temperatures are back into the low 90s, and that goes along with wind gusts of around 25 to 30 miles per hour. We could see passing showers and a possible thunderstorm around Fairfield County in the early afternoon, and there is a chance for more later on in the day as well, before what will be a humid and cloudy night heading into Saturday morning. Partly sunny and humid on Saturday, with temperatures reaching into the high 80s, low 90s during the day. Not as breezy out, with wind gusts between 10 to 12 miles per hour, and we'll see some more afternoon showers again tomorrow. Increasing cloud cover and humidity starting to rise on Saturday evening. There's a chance for a couple of overnight thunderstorms, which should clear out before Sunday morning, and things should start to clear up heading into the holiday on Sunday. No more showers as they move past the county. It will be humid during the day, intervals of sun and clouds through the afternoon, a high of 96. Clear skies from the early evening carry through to Monday morning, along with an overnight low of 68. Kate, looking ahead to Monday and Tuesday, it looks like it could be perfect weather to eat some hot dogs out there.
All right, I like it. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Lang joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more local news after this. Celebrate summer with fresh, made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the dock shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the dock shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month. Isn't it time you got Millerized?
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this June 30th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to take a look back on this date in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, it was the day that a soldier returned to his family, but first we're going to go all the way back to 1559. King Henry II of France, mortally wounded in a jousting match against Gabriel de Montgomery, when a piece of Montgomery's shattered lance struck the king in the eye, causing an infection that would kill him 10 days later. Now, the incident essentially ended jousting in France, though it remained popular in England and Germany for another few decades. Henry, by the way, is incredibly not the only member of his family to die in a sporting accident. He had an older brother ahead of him in line for the crown. His brother had died playing tennis. To 1953 we go now. The first Chevy Corvette rolls off the assembly line in Flint, Michigan. Named after a small class of maneuverable warships, the Corvette, if we're being honest, has always been America's only sports car. They sold for $3,250 in 1953, the equivalent of about $30,000 today, so they were never what you might call cheap, except for NASA astronauts who for years were gifted 2 cars through a partnership with GM, and they invariably chose a practical family car and a Corvette for themselves. Texas and Florida police, by the way, routinely turned a blind eye to the astronauts and their enthusiastic driving habits. 1981, Glenn Godwin, a business owner who had never before been in trouble with the law, is convicted of murder for killing Kim LaValle, an acquaintance and local drug dealer. Now, Godwin had never been in trouble with the law, as I mentioned. He apparently was a bit of a natural. He escaped Folsom Prison, established a drug empire in Mexico, then was jailed again in 1996, then escaped prison again before the U.S. could extradite him. He was put on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, and after 20 years, the FBI essentially gave up on finding him. Godwin remains at large. Finally, now we go to 1998 for this.
He reached this decision after weighing the sanctity of the tomb with the nation's commitment to the fullest possible accounting of service members missing in defense of our country. About today, but we will brief you on that later, as I said earlier. He'll be followed by Secretary Cohen concluded that he has an obligation to pursue the fullest possible accounting of Americans lost in battle. If we can identify the remains now, we have an obligation to try. The families of fallen service members deserve nothing less.
1998, Michael Blassie, an Air Force pilot, was identified as the Vietnam War serviceman buried in the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. He'd been shot down in 1972, and a patrol 6 months later had found the remains, but could not conclusively identify them due to limitations on technology at the time, so they were marked unknown. He was buried in the Tomb of the Unknowns in 1984 with President Reagan acting as his next of kin and accepting the folded flag. His family has since reinterred him in Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. That is your look back in history for today, June 30th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much. much, Don. Well, in other local news, as thousands of drivers plan to travel during the upcoming extended holiday weekend, Connecticut state troopers are also preparing to patrol in increased numbers to keep roads and highways safe. Now, state police say troopers will be strategically placed to reduce speed on the highways and roadways during the holiday period. In addition, troopers will operate sobriety checkpoints, and drivers can expect to experience concentrated enforcement operations at locations where there have been a high number of alcohol-involved crashes and incidents. Now, troopers will also be using laser units and both marked and unmarked patrol cars to enhance safety and remove all drunk drivers from Connecticut's roads. All right, let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And with the 4th of July comes one of the highlights of the summer lacrosse season. That is the Under Armour All-America Lacrosse Weekend taking place at Townsend University in Maryland beginning today. And the FCAC is well represented again this year. The Darien Blue Wave and New Canaan Rams each have 2 recent graduates in one of the featured events, the North-South Senior Boys game on Saturday night. Girls game will begin at 5:30, and the boys are to follow in the nightcap at 8 p.m. The North team's roster includes Arden Cohen on defense, New Canaan's Ryan O'Connell at midfield, and both goalies on the roster are from New Canaan and Darien as well, Drew Morris and Ryan Cornell, representing Darien and New Canaan again. All 4 players will be heading off to the college ranks next year. Cornell playing at Vermont, Morris at Maryland, Cohen Notre Dame, and O'Connell at North Carolina. There are a couple of underclassmen events going on this weekend as well as part of the Under Armour Lacrosse Weekend. For all the FCAC players who will be participating down at Townsend, go to fcac.net and you can see the full story there. Good luck to all those athletes competing, boys and girls alike. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. We will see you after the holiday.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, a brand new building for the swap shop at the Darien Recycling Center opened earlier this month with the help of local volunteers and the town's Energy and Recycling Center Committee. Darien received a $20,000 grant from the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection towards the new building, which has about 3 times the amount of shelf room of the prior space and is better insulated against the elements. The old structure will be given to Darien's volunteer fire departments to be used as a storage unit, and the town's also planning to redevelop the Darien Public Works Garage, which neighbors the Swap Shop and Recycling Center on Ledge Road. Now, the Swap Shop first opened in 2009 with the goal of helping residents exchange or donate household items they no longer needed, rather than simply throwing them away. All of the items in Swap Shop must be usable or repairable before being dropped off, and residents are able to take and exchange items freely with their own judgment. Now, all visitors must have a recycling center permit in order to gain access to the shop. And there are going to be fireworks displays throughout the area all weekend, and the Stratford fireworks are scheduled for tonight, June 30th at 9 p.m. at Short Beach Park. Now, in the interest of public safety, there will be no bicycles allowed into the beach during the event, and there will be road closures, parking bans, and detours to be aware of. You can get full details at stratfordstar.com, and you can find out about your town's fireworks display on your local HAN network news site. But we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the top stories of the week across all of our news sites after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through June 30th.
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood-fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napolitana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com and like us on Facebook.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to this Friday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. We're taking a look now at the top stories across all of our news sites this week. And the top story was news that a college student who worked as an emergency medical technician with the Easton Volunteer Medical Service was arrested for stockpiling illegal weapons. 20-year-old Christopher Barlow of Duxbury, Massachusetts was arrested Monday on illegal weapons charges and impersonating a police officer. Now, Barlow, a Sacred Heart University student, was part of the college live-in program at the Easton EMS in Connecticut during the school year, which has now ended. Duxbury Police Department detectives obtained search and arrest warrants for Barlow after a long investigation. Federal agents and a bomb squad raided Barlow's room and found 2 locked boxes containing a cache of firearms, according to Jonathan Hall of Channel 7 News in Boston. Now, a ski mask, police baton, and handcuffs were among the stash of weapons. Barlow was also in possession of a fake Homeland Security ID card, a Special Agent Coast Guard badge, and a Connecticut Special Officer's badge. An investigation, including a search of his computers, is underway to determine if he was linked to terror. Now, court documents include that Barlow was armed with a handgun and a double-edged knife when police arrested him at Brewster Ambulance in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Duxbury police say they had received a tip earlier this month that stated Barlow was in possession of illegal weapons. His family initially denied investigators access to his room, but later complied. The investigation was carried out with help from Easton Police. Carolyn Kearney, Easton EMS chief, said she has no comment about Barlow's arrest or his status with the service. You can get more on that story at eastoncourier.com. And another top story this week was that Ridgefield police charged a North Street man with evading the scene of an accident following a one-car rollover at the intersection of Barrack Hill Road and Pinpack Road on Monday. Police said that 55-year-old Robert Steele failed to grant the right-of-way to a 28-year-old driver from Grace Lake, Illinois, at the intersection, which led to a front-to-side collision and a rollover crash. Steele then left the scene of the accident, the report said, and police put out a notice for a red SUV that neighbors saw flee on Pinpack Road, leaving the site of the accident. Well, the 28-year-old driver and 2 passengers, a 31-year-old man and an 87-year-old man, were taken to Danbury Hospital following that crash. Police reported extensive damage to the car as well as damage to a fence and a wall outside of 78 Barrack Hill Road. And a story that broke last Thursday still had a lot of interest this week, and that's that Darien High School football coach and teacher Rob Trefone recently received a 3rd suspension from his teaching job without pay from the Darien School District. Now, in response, Trefone filed a grievance saying he did not agree that there was just cause for that suspension. The suspension details came from documents obtained via a Freedom of Information request by the Darien Times. Trefone was suspended for violating FERPA laws, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and Board Policy 4300, which is using the district's system to send personally identifiable student information to third parties and/or violating the directives of school administration. Now, the suspension was for 10 school days, and the last day was June 15th, the day before the last day of school and high school graduation. Trefone had received a 2-week suspension in October following an incident in which he struck the helmet of a player on October 1st, according to a release from the Darien School District. But there's more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And finally, the success of a rock star's auction for charity was big news in Ridgefield this week. 3 pieces of French artwork and a Persian carpet from Keith Richards' apartment in the Upper East Side were big sellers at an auction held in Hudson, New York last weekend. Those sales will bring more than $100,000 to 2 Ridgefield nonprofits, Sphere and the Prospector Theater, by the end of this summer. Now, the top price tag that came from the 150-piece lot was $15,000, which was bid for a Jacqueline Marval painting titled Bouquet of Tulips to the Window. Now, Richards and his wife Patty Hansen agreed to donate all the money from the auction to the Ridgefield nonprofits last month. Hansen's 24-year-old nephew is autistic and receives services from both organizations. Sphere founder Valerie Jensen said the prospector thanks Keith Richards and Patty Hansen for recognizing the need for meaningful inclusion of adults with disabilities in our community. All right, well, let's take one final look at the forecast with Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And again, breezy and humid out today, on and off periods of sunshine and clouds. We got sunshine hanging around right now, a high in the low 90s later on today. Wind gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour. But the afternoon going to be covered up with some showers earlier, and then we could possibly see a thunderstorm and some more showers later on in the day. Mostly cloudy overnight, humid again as we head towards Saturday morning. Partly sunny and humid on Saturday. Temperatures in the high 80s, low 90s during the day. Not as breezy out. Wind gusts right around 10 to 12 miles per hour. And we'll see some more afternoon showers around Fairfield County. Increasing cloud cover and humidity starting to rise Saturday evening. There's a chance for a couple of more thunderstorms Saturday night, carrying into Sunday morning. But things should start to clear up by the late morning on Sunday. Showers move past Fairfield County. Humid during the day, but there'll be intervals of sun and clouds, and it continues to get more clear by the evening. We'll see clear skies overnight. Comfortable temperatures, a low of 68 heading towards Monday and the holiday on Tuesday, where the rain should be past, and we'll see plenty of sunshine as we celebrate our nation's birthday. Excuse me. Not our nation's holiday, our nation's birthday.
I thought you were going to say our nation's hot dogs, because we should mention this weekend is the end of your Dogs for Dogs hot dog
Tuesday officially the hot dog challenge ends. You still have time to donate. It's been a lot of fun.
It's for a good cause.
It's for a great cause. We're raising money for Leader Dogs for the Blind. We've reached our funding goal, and we're getting closer and closer to $3,000 now. It'd be incredible. It's a great organization. You can follow us on Instagram, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it'll be sad. Not sure how I'm going to handle going cold turkey on the hot dogs.
We'll see. You're not just going to eat any for the rest of the summer? Or?
Well, at least for a week or two.
All right. Okay. A little detox. Okay. Well, we are going to wrap things up here in your coffee break. We will be off for the long holiday weekend, but we will be back with your coffee break on Wednesday at 11. So we'll see you then. Enjoy the weekend and be safe.
Happy 4th of July.